Another Brick fan here with a Marvel Spider-Man set. This is Spider-Man and Ghost Rider versus Carnage. This is set 76173, was released in January 2021. Has 212 pieces, 3 minifigures, and cost about $20 when it was released. When I first saw this set, I really liked the look of it. You don't get a lot of Ghost Rider sets, although I think there were a couple in the past. However, it also looked a little bit like a Speed Champion set to me. I really like the look of this muscle car in it. I think it's a really nice looking set, and at $20, a really good value. We'll take a close look at the minifigures here in a minute, but let's go ahead and take a look at this muscle car. As I just said, this really reminds me a lot of a Speed Champions type build. It's a 6-stud wide car or vehicle, so it has this really nice grille that is done here in the front. Lots of these kind of metallic silver elements. Looks pretty good. Has the larger wheels in back, smaller wheels in front to give it that elevated look. It's all black, so it's going to pick up a lot of dust sitting on the shelf, but as a play piece, it's very stable. It rolls really nicely. Opening up the cockpit, you see there is plenty of room for a minifigure, but just one. They drive right in the center of the vehicle, which is not, again, not unusual for these types of vehicles. There's a little bit of a fogged rear window done with this slope piece. Here's your lights, and you notice the back here has these same 1x2s with rails, but they're inverted. There's some really interesting building techniques used to get the sloping and the look of this vehicle just right. You can see it's on a kind of a standard car base, and then a lot of build and slope that is used to create this effect on the vehicle. Very sturdy, great play piece. I think using these stud shooters up top kind of make it for the look of these big air intakes or a big carburetor. It just has that really good muscle car feel. And I really appreciate that. I think it's a really nice model for that. However, this is not the only way this car appears. So it does come with an alternate build, or at least some accessories that go on the outside to make it really the Ghost Rider car. Here is the car transformed into Ghost Rider mode. As you see, we loaded the stud shooters with these trans orange color pieces or studs, and then we have added some of these power pieces. So there's one here on the tire here in the front. This is one of those power pieces that goes around a minifigure's hand, and then a flame piece here. Moving around to the back, you see we have the 2 flames coming out of the back, kind of a medium size and a smaller size. And then on the back, we also have one of these larger explosion type pieces here, and then once again the larger flame piece with this power piece up in front. So it gives it that nice flame look and really transforms the look of the car altogether. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the minifigures. The minifigures include Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Carnage. Ghost Rider and Carnage are unique to this set. However, the uniqueness of Carnage is in fact the arms and the size of the arms. I reviewed the Spider-Man Bike Rescue, which also has Carnage in it, but he has longer appendages. It's kind of done the same way, but we'll get into that here in just a moment. First up, let's take a look at Ghost Rider and Spider-Man. So here is Ghost Rider. I really like the silver or kind of gray head that he has here. He's got the big grin on his face there. The hair is done in this trans orange, but on the thinner pieces it starts to fade. The color fades a little bit, so which gives a very nice effect. This hair piece reminds me of Hades from the Disney Collectible Minifigures Series 2. He also has this good printing here on his torso, kind of a leather jacket type look, which I think is appropriate for Ghost Rider. No printing on the legs here, which is kind of interesting. Spider-Man has this web shooting piece here, so that does have an action feature. If you press on it, it will fire, actually, from his hand. Pretty standard or normal Spider-Man printing here with the webs, the spider, and then his abs underneath. I do like how they did the circular web pattern and the eyes here on his head. Moving around, you see that Spider-Man does have some printing down the sides. The red printing on the blue kind of fades or darkens the red a lot, so it doesn't match the color of the rest of the uniform. So that's a little disappointing, but actually fairly common with these minifigures. I do like the fact that they printed a web pattern on the back of Spider-Man's head. No alternate face, but at least it does continue that web-like printing. And then his standard Spider-Man logo kind of on the back there. Ghost Rider has the continuation of that printing for the back of his jacket here. Ghost Rider has no alternate expression, and in fact the hair here is connected directly to the headpiece, so it doesn't come off. Moving back around, you see once again that kind of darker red printing there on the side of Spider-Man. Let's take a close look at Carnage now. So here is Carnage with all of his appendages attached. And like I said, this really is the same figure that was done in the Bike Rescue set with just different appendages here on the back. And those are all attached here using one of these backpack pieces that was pretty prominent in the in-game series with the Chitani. The backpack piece has these 4 rails on it where you can connect these kind of robot arm pieces because they clip right into that, and then they have these little appendages here that go with Carnage. So I think that's again pretty common for Carnage, and I think there's 3 different versions of Carnage that all have different kind of appendages attached to them. Let's take a closer look at the minifigure without all the appendages attached. So here is Carnage without all the appendages attached. As you notice, everything is this red color, although there's some really good printing here done in the blacks and yellows to kind of bring out abs and different aspects of Carnage. He does have a little bit of printing on his toes, as you might see here. He has some really odd shaped eyes here, and then that grin with it looks like a lot of teeth in it. No side printing on Carnage here, but he does have the continuation of that same printing on the front, on the back of his torso here. The torso printing and the back printing match quite well. And then a little bit more of this texturing or kind of lines on the back of his head. Like Spider-Man, he doesn't have a hairpiece or anything, so there's obviously no alternate expression for Carnage. So there we have the 3 minifigures for the set. Let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts. As I said in the beginning, overall this is a really nice set. I like the 3 minifigures that come with it. We just took a quick look at those. I did want to point out the different versions of Carnage. So this is the one from the Bike Rescue, and you see he's much larger appendages on Carnage from the Bike Rescue. Lots more accessories and all of that. But as I mentioned while reviewing the minifigures, the body of both of these, if you take all the appendages out of the way, is the same. So the only difference really is the kind of the accessories that come with the Carnage figures, and that's what makes them unique to each of these sets. But moving back to this set as it was, I really do like this is a good Spider-Man. He comes in several of the sets, but I do appreciate the arm and side printing, and I like how the head is printed. The vehicle is good. I mean, it fits Ghost Rider inside very nicely. I do like all of these kind of flame accents. Really does make the vehicle look even more kind of supernatural. Gives it a very good look as well. And like I said, it's a very durable vehicle. It's a very durable vehicle, a very solid build, certainly open for lots of playability. As far as value goes, it's a $20 set, and I think you get a lot of really nice stuff. You get a really good looking vehicle, you get 3 really nice minifigures. The price per piece ratio is just under that 10-cent mark that I like to use as a starting point for determining value. So overall, this fits as a big win in my mind and a really great set for the money. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Spider-Man set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to some of my other Marvel reviews up here on the screen.